Bill of 2023. Honorable Speaker, when you look at the memorandum of objects and reasons, it clearly seeks to amend various acts of parliament relating to anti-money laundering, countering the financing of terrorism, and countering the financing of proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, etc. Honorable Speaker, a basic count indicates that about 16 to 17 acts of parliament that are being amended to align to what the mover has indicated as a result to addressing the issues raised by the peer review. Honorable Speaker, as is always a practice, 17 or 16 acts of parliament being amended at one go in one bill becomes a mouthful, and we have always complained here, it becomes difficult to give thorough review or analysis of the bill that's as it is. But nevertheless, Honorable Speaker, it has already been presented, therefore we must deal with it. Honorable Speaker, from the onset, let's agree, terrorism and financing of terrorism is an essential threat to national security and the well-being of this country. And that's why in the wisdom of the framers, we came up with our anti-money laundering, because terrorism and any acts of violence or threat to security of national security essentially depends on financing of those activities. If we are able to cut out financing, the threat posed by terrorism and other crimes will be substantially reduced and will save this country a lot of resources required to protect this country. Honorable Speaker, unfortunately in this country, and as I've always continuously said, we have very many laws, very well thought out laws. We have regulations, we have mechanisms, but we pride in hate speech, we pride in warmongering, we pride in talking PR, but we don't go to the extent of implementing the laws that we have. Honorable Speaker, if you listen to the report, one of the key issues they're raising is that we have the laws, they might have gaps, but we have not implemented or enforced the existing laws. We just hope that whoever is in charge, as they are put in various laws, will go out of their way to deal with this matter. Honorable Speaker, another threat that is emerging, and which I had hoped the amendments will capture, is the issue of illicit financial flows. Illicit financial flows. We seem to have concentrated on basic procedural issues, but we have not given any serious talk or any serious attention to illicit financial flows and tax expenditures, which we need to address. I hope when we go to the committee of the whole House, the respective committees, both JLAC and Finance, will seek further technical support to ensure that we address on these issues. Honorable Speaker, speaking to the bill at hand, it has got very many issues. Of course, the greatest concern, and all of us know, is this what they are talking about, voluntary extradition. Honorable Speaker, when it's voluntary, when it's coerced, when it is forced, when it's obtained under duress, it becomes extremely difficult. We have had so many cases, Honorable Speaker, where people have been abducted in this country and taken out of this country without trace, and they find themselves in hostile territories on the pretext that's voluntary. I had hoped that any form of voluntary consent to extradition should be obtained before either a magistrate or a judge of the High Court, so that it's truly voluntary. Honorable Speaker, we also appreciate the expanding the scope of the Financial Reporting Center so that we are able to track illicit financial flows and cases of laundering money obtained from corruption cases. Honorable Speaker, I would have also hoped that when they are talking about this financial reporting, they must also tell us, many times when we are vetting the cabinet secretaries, we are vetting PSs, they deliberately exaggerated their word, so that by the end of their 5-year term, they'll say my word was this, and that word has been obtained through illegal or corruption means. I'd hoped now we'd go up to this point, that when a public officer comes for vetting, he should be asked, what do you have now and what you have now, has it been valued and verified by a competent authority, so that the figures you are giving us are not manufactured figures in anticipation that we are going to loot public resources? Honorable Speaker, how do you explain a cabinet secretary who earns 1 million and goes to take a mortgage of 120 million to finance purchase of a house? That's now the kind of things we should be addressing now. Shouldn't we just be looking at foreign money getting out of the country, but money just being acquired through illegal means? Honorable Speaker, the entire bill seems to focus so much on vetting of shareholders, substantial significant shareholders, beneficial owners, and the rest of the things. Honorable Speaker, there is the fear, obviously, that's going to be misused. If you have a beef with anybody, they'll say that they don't trust your source of income or source of capital, so that they will not allow you, give you a license for purposes of finding a company or something like that. I would have hoped in the committee stage, where the two committees are making amendments, there must be mechanisms to ensure there is the right of recourse. If you say you are not giving me a license, or you are not giving me permission to proceed, we must be able to deal with that. Honorable Speaker, I find it curious that the Insurance Act has been included in this particular bill, because what is proposed to be amended in the Finance Act, the Insurance Act, other than the issue of vetting of the shareholders and beneficial owners, it all deals with the issue of changing from registration to licensing. I'd have thought that would have been dealt with in the proper manner in dealing with the Insurance Act on its own. Honorable Speaker, now the issue that has also brought, looks curious, is what they're calling under the amendment being brought, the National Police Service Act, control delivery, whereby there is a consignment that is illegal can be allowed to go through the country under the supervision and watch of the police officers. Honorable Speaker, we live in a country where the police service is corrupt to the core, where the police service is populated by people who have got low levels of integrity and accountability. Are we not creating a disaster, a case where even arms, narcotics, or substances that are harmful to the economy or to the country could be diverted? Honorable Speaker, we are even dealing with a case where KRA seals were fixed to a go down, but the following day, KRA seals were intact, but the sugar was gone. So we are really creating a disaster in the making. And more so, Honorable Speaker, with the discordant command structure that we have seen the police service, the National Police Service talking of this, the police command, the IG talking about different things, we are truly, Honorable Speaker, creating a crisis, which I would urge the committee and the mover of the bill to literally delete that particular clause as we wait to see how things go. Honorable Speaker, it also provides that all companies, even with shareholding of less than 5 million, must have as a mandatory a company secretary or a contact person who will be providing information. Honorable Speaker, we are imposing undue cost on doing business to small-time businesses. Honorable Speaker, companies have occasionally submitted or filed their returns using probably a company secretary who does not necessarily become an employee of the company. Probably so again, as we proceed, we must also look at it, the way how to fix it. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude, we have had so many stories here. The government or the executive has got all the arms, has got all the mechanisms in this country to go after people who have looted this economy. We are tired as people of Kenyans, Kenyan people, every day being told, people looted, people looted. 1 year down the line, how long does it take to investigate and arraign people who have looted? Or is it a smoke screen so that they could also do the same?
The time is over. The Honorable Musa Sirma, member for Eldama Ravine. Yeah, his name appears on the screen.